G'day folks. Here we are with something a bit different. As the title says, this is my top 10 underrated Dayz YouTubers. So remember, this is only my own perspective, and I have a certain type of video that I do prefer to watch, but I enjoy watching everything from PvP to roleplay to just people who are starting off their channels and so on. So don't shoot me too much. Remember, this is just my own perspective. I'll be very interested in hearing your comments. Put them down below. Send me a message on Steam or on Twitter or whatever. But very keen to hear from you guys as to what you think should have been in this list, and anyone who I may not have heard of, because you'll get to see my subscription list here quite a bit. I do subscribe to a lot of content creators. So what were the rules for this? Well, there really were no rules. I kind of set myself a limit of if they've got more than 10,000, then they're definitely not that underrated. There are a couple who are near 10,000, but I'll get to them when I do, and I'll explain more in detail about my thoughts on them. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. At number 10 is my mate, Barely Infected. Barely Infected has an awesome channel. He creates a lot of fantastic content, and one of the things I love the most about this guy is he's not just in it for the PvP. The guy can PvP when he wants to. My God, he can play very hard. But predominantly, he's always on the lookout for interactions, which is a big thing for myself. I've got a whole series based on it. He's got a whole series based around, I've got a whole series based around interactions, and that's something that Barely Infected does believe strongly in himself. He doesn't just play to kill people, he plays for a bit more than just pure PvP. He's very big on the survival aspect of the game as well, a lot like another one of my top 10 as well. So, Barely Infected on 9,243 subs. Honest to God, I think that is cruel to him. He should be at least double that. The guy is fantastic, and he runs with some awesome players, one of whom makes an honourable mention for my list. So the next one is a fella by the name of Cam Can't Run. Don't think a lot of you will have heard of him. He's got 1,000 subs, but Cam has an excellent approach to the game as well. You can just see this by some of the titles of his videos. Friendship, when everything goes right. He plays as well for a little bit more than just the pure PvP. A bit like Barely Infected, he can PvP when he wants to, but he puts a lot more heart and soul into his videos. Some very cinematic scenes, a lot like another person who is on my list as well. He's definitely worth checking out, and at 1,074 subs, get in now so you can see him go from these early stages to he's going to become something big, in my opinion. The next one on my list, Sarah Moore. Number 8 is Sarah Moore. Sarah Moore is, well, my mate Vigilante Gamer did a video on him, the Dayz Psychopath. The guy borderline role plays. He is incredibly crazy. He plays a lot of other games as well. You'll see some, he's very big on Squad at the moment, but he does do a lot of very good Dayz content, and he's a maniac. He's a fucking maniac. I love the guy's videos. They're hilarious as all hell, and he can play. Oh God, he gets into some situations that I know I would not survive out of. And despite all the craziness that he gets up to, the guy can hold his own when it comes to it in PvP. He does have 9,741 subs. I just think this guy should be a lot bigger than he is as well. Okay, at number 7, let's see if I can find him. Polish guy, 4,300 subs. Another one who is fantastic at doing some great cinematic work, and does a little bit more than just pure PvP content. There's not a lot of pure PvP people on my list, because I do generally prefer something that's a little bit more than just bang, you're dead, bang, you're dead, bang, you're dead. There's 1,000,001 different people out there doing that sort of content. One of my honourable mentions, though, is one of those content creators who you'll find out more about. But Polish guy, He's just got a fantastic play style, runs with some decent people, and gets into his Apartment Alliance video. I'm not showing any footage from anyone's videos because I don't want it to get it taken down, but he has got some outstanding stuff, and the Apartment Alliance video was absolutely riveting to watch. You will definitely enjoy. This guy is so worth you subbing to. Okay, at number 6. Now I can guarantee the majority of you have not heard of this guy, the Friendly Bandit. He's an Aussie like myself. He's only got 26 subs, which is a fucking joke, an absolute fucking joke. I'm hoping that this can push him over the 100 mark, if not more. The guy really deserves a lot more. He's big on supporting the local community. He gets involved in all the events with the Pipsy crew. He regularly puts out content. He's just fantastic. He really does do some fantastic footage. You really want to give this guy a shot. Trust me, you won't regret it. He's a top bloke to boot. Doesn't have a big head. He puts in, for such a small channel, he puts in a lot of time and effort into his content. I believe he streams as well on occasions. So definitely, please jump on board. Give this guy a sub. He really deserves it. Just turning on my notifications for him. I didn't realise they weren't on. Okay, at number 5. Some of you may have heard of this guy. He's had a couple of run-ins with Australia's biggest YouTuber, Fubar Bundy, but Hajimite creates some fantastic content. He's funny. He does do a lot of PvP stuff, but generally he still tries to interact with people. He'll talk to them. He's definitely worth a watch. My only criticism, and Haji, I've told you this, mate, you would have been higher on the list if it wasn't for fucking Nissan. My God, mate, that guy drives me insane. So if you don't watch the Nissan videos, I'll understand, everyone. But at 1,565 subs, this guy should have a lot more himself. Definitely worth a watch. He puts out a lot of content almost daily. He's releasing something, whether it be a short little clip of just a few minutes or whether it be a longer one of up to 10 to 20 minutes. You will never be disappointed. He's always putting out great content, and he does an absolutely outstanding Elmo impersonation that he uses in game. Okay, number 4 is a very good mate of mine, Vanguard. Vanguard, you would have seen in a lot of my videos. He does some of the most amazing cinematic work. I don't believe Vanguard will be upset if I show any of his footage, but he is just a phenomenal player, and he just has this knack for being able to do some of the most amazing cinematic angles, and he's just, whenever I'm doing a big event, Vanguard's my go-to guy for, well, he's got a whole video on it, cinematic bars and soft contrasting, on doing a really top quality promo video for an event. If you need any proof, just check out the one he did for an event that we held about a year and a half ago, versus the BWOF boys. It was a fantastic video, absolutely amazing. The Ashes 2 promo with myself and Mick Ballistic from BWOF in it, absolutely amazing. When we saw what he did, it was phenomenal. The guy only has 142 subs, which is a joke. He does a lot of other armor footage as well, and he's been known to put the odd squad video up as well, so he's definitely worth subscribing to. Please do. He's a good mate of mine. I'd love to see him hit 500 soon. He deserves a hell of a lot more. Regular player, uploads quite frequently as well. You won't be disappointed with a sub to him. Okay, before we break into the top 3, let's have a look at my honourable mentions. Honourable mentions, The Lonely Bandit. Lonely Bandit would have actually made the list, but he's stopped doing YouTube. So tell that guy to pull his head out of his ass and start putting some fucking decent YouTube content out. Again, he's more of a... he's not a PvPer, but he's more about having, as his name says, bandit interactions. He loves to try and hold people up and rob them, and he's quite aggressive in doing it. And that's what I love about him. There's no one really doing his style of video that I know of. He really puts his heart and soul into every encounter he has, and he can PvP as well when he needs to. But just some of the videos that he's done, you definitely want to check him out. Another guy who almost made the list, but he's just got a few too many subs in my opinion, Super FT LOL. He does deserve a lot more, but Super FT LOL plays with Barely Infected, who did make the list, and the pair of them, some of you will probably know, most of you will probably know, they run a lot with the Running Mans. So he is definitely worth a watch. I absolutely love FT's content. Mabo makes the list as well. Mabo is another fantastic YouTuber, definitely worth a watch. Puts out videos infrequently, but you will enjoy watching him. Please give him a sub. He's got quite a bit of content on there, does some other stuff as well, but yeah, at 228 subs, he deserves a hell of a lot more as well. Okay, another good mate of mine. Had a run with him just the other day, actually. Unfortunately, I didn't get any good footage, but Loka Sutra. Loka would have made the list, the top 10 as well, but he hasn't been putting out a lot of content of DayZ lately, and this is primarily a DayZ list. But he has just started putting out a couple of videos, memories, lag, so definitely worth a well, Phantom Shooter as well, definitely worth a sub as well. He's a top bloke, plays regularly with Charlie DayZ as well, so you will enjoy watching his content. Now this one, I talked about him a little bit earlier when I said that I don't have a lot of PvPers, but Tomasino, 1,511 subs. He would have made the list, but like bit like Loco, he hasn't been doing a lot lately. So yeah, it's been quite some time since he's done a DayZ video. Please definitely give this guy a check though. Have a look at some of his older content. Absolutely outstanding. And the last person to make my list, Wolverine. Wolverine has 9,000 subs, but he does some absolutely amazing content. Update, patch, tips, advice, loot spawns, all that sort of stuff. How to kill zombie easy. That was a great video for me. Pretty much now one of the first things I do is create myself an improvised bow, because we all know how OP zombies are now. Not really OP, but how much more of a threat they are. And as a new spawn, you know, when you're still trying to find a gun and ammo, and even when you do, you don't really want to fire. So this video here, definitely worth a watch. How to kill zombies easy. Okay, let's get back to the top three. At number 3, I ummed and ahed about where to put this guy. I did have him at number 1 for a while, but in thinking back on it, yeah, you'll see who my number 1 is. Beaver Productions. The Beaver has 740 subs, a very, very similar number to myself. He does some absolutely amazing content. Again, he's more about looking for interactions, but he does do some PvP stuff as well. You guys really want to check this guy out. He is quality. He is fantastic. I can't shout this guy out enough. He also does, I believe, I can't see one here, quick clips, no. I thought he actually had a couple of videos somewhere in his history. There probably is, but videos where he gives tips to people who are creating content as well. So please give this guy a sub. Let's try and push him up over 1,000. He really does deserve every single sub he's got, and then some. This guy should be 5,000 easy in my eyes. Okay, number 2. This was another tough one for me. Where is he? Vigilante Gamer. I imagine many of you thought he would have been number 1, and he was there for a while as well when I was umming and ahhing about it. But Vigilante Gamer, oh my god, the guy is just an absolute fucking boss. He's done a video on how to apply Sun Tzu's The Art of War to DayZ. Some of his content is amazing. You really need to check this guy out, particularly if you're one of those players who plays a lot of Lone Wolf, or if you're you play a lot of Lone Wolf and you have a lot of trouble. He has some fantastic videos that show you, let's have a look for him, how to approach dangerous areas safely. He does these tactical breakdowns. I'm still waiting for his next one. 3 more tips for approaching other players. You really want to check this guy out. That's a breakdown he did of a contact that Vanguard and I have. He just has this knack of explaining DayZ in a way that really makes sense to me. Really makes sense. Admittedly, half the time I forget to follow the advice he gives, because I've got my own certain type of playstyle, but please give him a sub. He should be 10 times this number. He should be one of the biggest DayZ YouTubers in my opinion. Okay, so you're probably all wondering who my number 1 is. Well, without further ado, let me introduce you to Kerbo. Kerbo only has 370 subs, and this is what eventually pushed him up into the number 1 spot, because the criteria really was about who is the most underrated DayZ content creator. This guy is amazing. His videos just have this feel about them. I'm not big on roleplay myself. I play on roleplay server DayZ Underground a lot, as most of you know, but Kerbo's videos are something else. He just has this mesmerizing voice. Oh my god, the guy has a mesmerizing voice. But his content is just first class. He has some outstanding interactions with people. Yeah, he's got some other stuff in here as well, but for DayZ content you can't look past this guy, and it seems like now that 0.61's gone stable, we'll be seeing a lot more. We've had 2 videos in the last week from him, so please give this guy a sub. 370 subs. It's probably about right for where he is at the moment, because he's had a bit in and out, but he seems to be playing a lot of other games in there. But maybe if more of you jump in there and give him a sub and comment on his videos, we might get to see some more outstanding first-class DayZ roleplay action. Well, guys, thank you so much for sitting through this. I'm not sure how long it went for, but remember, this is just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. Please let me know what you think. DayZ is an amazing game. There's plenty of PvPers out there. Me, I look for something a little bit more than just PvP. So please leave your comments below. If you know of any other great players, or content creators like the ones I've mentioned, put them in the comments. Send me a message on Twitter. I'm always on the lookout for new content. Anyway, guys, I will catch you later, and ciao for now.
Thank you.